Hi, I'm Christine Duque. In today's episode of Shattering Glass and Heels, I'm being joined by artist Rachel LeRoux and my talented and creative genius brother, JJ Duque. Thank you so much for joining us. I am so excited to be talking to my awesome brother, and Rachel, it's so great to meet you. This is exciting. Rachel, your artwork is right behind me. It's twofold. It's one, it's the cover of my awesome book, and it is also now kind of the Mockingjay symbol for everything related to the book, which is also the podcast, which is Shattering Glass and Heels. So just wanted to really get to know you and really hear a little bit about your story and Jay, how this all came about. Just the artist community in Manila, and just really just talking a little bit and connecting all of that. So Rachel, just nice to meet you. Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and your story. So
yeah, thank you so much for having me, and of course thanks JJ for pushing me to do this. My story, well, gosh, I've been doing art for as long as I can remember. Like, I was a little girl, and but then when I started growing up, I thought maybe art wasn't a career to go and do, especially back in the in the late 90s in the Philippines as well. So I was born and raised here, but then I left and I moved to England when I was 18. And when I moved to England, I decided to pursue interior design. So by trade, I'm actually an interior architect. And I went to uni in England. I never practiced over there. And then I moved back here when maybe about 15 years ago, back to Manila, with a husband and a baby in tow. And then I started practicing my design. And then fast forward, I was always doing little paintings here and there. I met JJ at some little art show, and what was that, Jay, 2010 or something?
My little art place, Instant Doodles.
Yeah, Instant Doodles. So met there, and then just once in a while I'd paint, and he'd call me, I have a show, do you want to join? Do you have one piece and I'd make it specifically for that show. And then fast forward to the pandemic, I had to make a big decision to close my design business because I had to finish building a house on Zoom. And that was just, you lose all the reasons why you love that job in the first place. So then I turned to my art, and then I started taking courses. I started doing a real deep dive into my art and really focused on it, and just started building up collections. And now I just have art everywhere, which is not a bad problem to have. So
that's
my
art. That's her art in my background.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
one.
That was 2017, actually. That was when I was still doing abstracts, but I really tapped into my figurative. I really fell in love with pencil and oil, and my art now is centered around capturing feminine figures, whether they're in flow or in repose, and I navigate through different layers, which eventually those layers become my narrative. So really and truly, I'm telling stories of my own stories in bodies and faces that aren't mine. So it was really my way of just getting my emotions out on canvas. And then just as I continued going on, I just developed and evolved into what my art is today, which is still about women and about the feminine energy and how to bring that onto the canvas. I think that's a lot of my story. I think there's more, but that's majority of it.
That's a really great start. I love that, it's kind of diverse, right? People kind of just say, you don't want to become an artist because there's just no money to be made, or it's not part of what they say the ABCs of Filipino professions, right? Attorney, banker, some sort of clinical worker, right? Doctor or nurse. And you never want to put all your eggs in one basket to be an artist. But my brother is an artist. And so, we become a very artistic family, which is pretty awesome. And I love your story, the fact that, this is something that is, really profitable and kind of your life. And so, Jay, I want to get you into the narrative because, you and I've been working on this book for a while. And when I said, I needed a cover art for it, I didn't even question. I just said, for me, it's like, it needed to be a Filipina, artist that could really represent everything that was in the book. So, you kind of just said, you got it. So maybe just talk a little bit about like why Rachel, and just, you yourself, as an artist and all the work that you do to support Filipino artists. I just really want to lend a lens to your network and everything that you're doing in the art community in the Philippines.
Well, yeah, no. Well, because of South Arts Festival also. Apart from being an artist, I also organize art stuff, art exhibits, art festivals and stuff like that. So of course, in the course of those things, I get to meet a lot of artists. And whenever I'm tasked to do something like, hey, can I open up an exhibit because of South Arts Festival? I've been invited by other like places like Crimson Hotel, the malls and stuff like this, to ask if if I can put up a show for whatever reasons, for breast cancer awareness, for Women's Month, for Pride. So I just kind of mix and match with the artists of what goes on. And of course, since meeting the artists, you get to know their work, you get to know their style, you get to know their quirks. So then when we were thinking about it, and then already we talked about the peg of the heel shattering the thing. And I was like, you go through your head of like, who can do it figurative? First, we have to agree that it had to be a woman. Next, it had to be an Asian woman. So of course, I said, don't worry, I'll be able to find one because there's a whole bunch of here. But then when you talk about heels, things, standing, dancing, stuff, I was like, oh, this is Rachel. Done. She's got this. She's got this. She's got the thing where where the girl can tiptoe on the glass kind of thing. So even if she didn't do the whole thing, I'm sure like she's got this. She's got this. So she knows she can do it. So I only had one choice. I told her. And
I know.
she was begging like, I can't do it. I don't have time. I have to do this. I'm like this. I'm not asking. I'm telling you, you're doing this. I didn't call anybody else. There's no second choice. You were it. That was it. Period.
I think that's what got me.
I didn't have choice. I'm like, I don't have any choice. There's another person here who's gonna do it. It's it. Period. It's you. So
That's
yeah.
pretty awesome. I mean, Rachel, I think I sent you like the mock-up of the book cover on like WhatsApp the other day, and you just had this like moment. I can't tell you how much this image is so powerful, and just in the few people who actually have seen it, it resonates so much. I can't wait till this is going to be all over the place, first of all, and just everything that it symbolizes. I mean, like, just, how do you feel about, kind of the work? Because I didn't even talk to you. My brother kind of
No.
this whole deal. Like, this is the first time you and I are meeting. So I'm really excited. I'm like fangirling right now because this is so awesome. But, kind of just, I know he gave you kind of some direction around like what that was like. There was like the idea of like, breaking ceilings of corporate America and shattering glass ceilings, there. But, just I didn't really kind of figure out what the, image was in my mind that you kind of came up with this, and almost synergistically, it's also Louboutin. So, kind of just what kind of got you to just even that image instead of like, my brother was just also thinking about like an actual woman, an actual person, that it's really just, the heel and the glass, which is amazing. So what was your inspiration kind of going through it?
Well, initially, I usually paint body language, right? And it's just my thing. And so when JJ said this is what we needed, I was like, how am I going to capture that? How is it going to work for a book cover? And I also didn't really want to, because it's something different. I've never done a book cover before, so this is kind of cool as well. But I also didn't want it to be like my other pieces. I think I wanted to challenge myself, because I kept telling him, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Because actually, it wasn't just time. It was also me kind of doubting myself, thinking, can I really do this?
Oh.
Right? No, seriously, because I was like, it's not something, I don't paint, I don't do glass. It's all these little things that come up as an artist, right? So I'm like, how can I put my style in? And then I thought, well, instead of infusing my style, why don't I just go beyond what I usually do and just experiment? Because that's what art's about, right? And so the reason why I didn't do a whole body is because there's something really nice or something really deep about the mystery of a woman. And it's what
you can't tell the woman what woman it is, sort of.
Exactly. exactly.
Although
You
the
know,
book is about Asian, that doesn't really say anything, but it has a
but
nice,
the
strong
artwork could resonate.
Asian Chinese red.
Right.
Chinese New
Yeah.
Year. It's Chinese New
Yeah.
Year. So yeah,
Exactly. But you know, there's a mystery to that piece. You don't know
yeah.
whose legs they belong to. But you know, whoever's and I know for me, I put on a pair of heels and all of a sudden I'm not the artist with the bun in my hair or with the apron on. I'm like, you know, it makes me feel good. And so that's what I sort of wanted to put in that piece. And plus with when JJ told me the name of the book and you know a little bit of the premise, I just thought, okay, how can we incorporate it? And this is what I came up with. And it was not challenging. It was actually quite exciting to do it for
It's
you.
actually really cool. I liked it. I
Yeah.
liked it.
I mean, Jay, how much of my story did you tell her? Like anything about the book, or did you just say, "This is what
No,
I"? That's it.
No, just the title.
just the
That's it.
title. Just the title, and then I mean, from the title, I think you'll like, kind of know what it is, right? It's sort of like the
Yeah.
Was that what like when you saw the final image, Jay? Is that what you expected, or was it like?
yeah. I mean, not expect from her like I expected something of like, of course I knew because we had the peg that we were kind of copying, no. And then of course I threw her a shoe, literally. I threw her the shoe of my choice, right? Like the one with the glass thing. I don't know, like whatever. I just wanted to throw that out there. I didn't expect to do anything. I said, still, it's your thing, but these are the things that you can play with, right? And then so whatever she came up with, I was gonna be okay with it for sure. And then of course it exceeded whatever it is that, and I just love it. It's like, oh. And then when he came up with the red, because he doesn't know anything about the book, there's a part in the book that we talk about the red behind the heels, the Dior one or something, right?
The Louboutin.
It's
The
an
Louboutin.
iconic red pump that has the red
Yeah.
leather bottom. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this was mentioned in the book. It fits
Was
perfect.
it?
It fits
Yeah.
perfectly.
There's a
Yeah.
chapter in the book called "Walking Away in Louboutins," and there's
Yeah.
like thing about like that's like the
With the iconic red pump that you've made it in the world, and something like
like
that.
there's like a friend said there's something really alluring about a woman walking away in Louboutins, and actually that's why I use Louboutins when I'm on stage. But the funny part is that I use a shorter heel, which is like a 50 millimeter Louboutin, because New York City, like you're always in pavements and stuff like that. So when your cover came and I sent it to my friends, they're like, girl, you got to get the 150 millimeter Louboutins. And literally this weekend, I was at Louboutin and I bought both the 3.5 and the 4-inch because they're like, you're going to go on book promo. You better be freaking wearing these shoes. And so I'm walking around the house. I'm walking around the house with the 4-inch Louboutin, and I'm looking at the stairs. I'm like, I'm gonna fall off. Like, and then so like finally it was just like, okay, let's try the 3.5. I said even the girls like the 3.5 is walkable, the 4-inch is not. And so then I actually literally yesterday I returned the 4-inch heels. It's like I can't do it. I need the 3.5. That's as high as I go. That is like the running joke. Is like Christine had to go get the higher heel because of the book. And one of my girlfriend's like, you shouldn't have returned the 4-inch. You just need to endure and just keep going. But it's pretty funny though. It's like, yeah. So thank you for letting me have an excuse to buy another pair of shoes.
Buy.
My brother's
that was my yeah, there was a message in that card as well. Yeah, hidden message.
But it really was in the book. I just was like, I just don't wear that high of a heel anymore. So
yeah.
But now I have them, so we're good. So
that's crazy that there's a chapter. Like I honestly JJ didn't tell me any of that. Nothing.
This, like
Nothing.
Serendipitous kind of stuff, which is really, really cool. But
I love that.
Yeah, I got a couple more minutes. Like I just want to like talk a little bit about, because this podcast is going out to so many people, and we've got partners here within the Filipino media, and I want to put a spotlight on Filipino artists. And I just want to get an idea, like how is the arts community like post pandemic in Manila, and how is it, or like Jay, you do a lot of festivals and things like that where people are kind of demanding to see arts. Can you give us a little bit of a comment of just just what is that like within, just within that area, because in the States, it's not quite as vibrant as a community as you have there. So,
Actually, even during the pandemic, like of course, like with people without regular jobs and everything, people started doing a lot of art. I mean, what else could you do? You're stuck at home. So people started getting into art. And then I remember there was a time that um whatever Yakap Sining, and then there was another group with Cinema Despina. There's another one, but anyway, they were like inviting people who'd like to talk and like inspire people during the pandemic. And it was all these Zoom meetings such as this, and then they were asking about the art, about the art community, and everything. And I was like just telling people like even back then, people are coming up with really the most beautiful art right now because it's so free. Like they're just what else are you gonna do? Like it's just like really like a release for everybody, and like just to be able to do art and like not with nothing else in your head. There's no stress. There's no work. There's nothing. I mean, what else can you do, right? So I think it was very healing for a lot of people. A lot of people came up with the best things. Now fast forward to the post-pandemic, there's really a lot of art. So there's been a lot of like exhibits. Of course, galleries are throwing receptions and exhibits left and right. The group shows are getting much bigger. There's a lot of like art fests happening already, like in the span of 2 years. Even us, like me, like after 2021, like, we already had South Arts Festival in the hotel, and then we had a lot of people join that one. And then in the past few years, we've just been very active. We have like 3 shows in a year, at least because of the March Women's Month, which Rachel's a part of. That's going to be this March at Crimson, and then April we have our solo shows kind of thing. Usually around, and then May have another we have another show in May.
You have the festival. We've got the art fair in May.
Yeah, we have South Ice Festival, and then June is usually like Gay Pride Month or National Pride because of Philippine independence in June. So wherever the hotel leans towards, whether it's national artists or Gay Pride, we find the artists, we do the thing. We have another exhibit in June, and then further down the line in October, breast cancer awareness, we have another one. So those are kind of assured things that have been happening to us regularly every year, pre-pandemic, and then now that the pandemic is like gone, everything is restarted. So even us just down here, we're very busy. I mean, we have a lot of opportunity for art. Like if I didn't, if I had to wait for a gallery, sometimes like a gallery only has 52 weeks. They exhibit what 2 weeks per thing, so there's only like 26 weeks really that minus all the holidays and everything that they really exhibit. So and they already carry stables of artists. So for you as a new artist to try to get in is actually kind of difficult. So at least we have like venues like this, like the South Arts Festival, where like you can give it a try, or like if you know JJ, he can give you a spot at Crimson, or like people are asking like the malls, yeah, why not? So at least people can get their exposure, feel good about at least their art is going somewhere other than just sitting in the corner of their studio or their house or something. So it's been good. It's been good.
I just want to add to that though, JJ, that you're the only one really, like South Arts Festival, that where individual artists can exhibit without having to be tied to a gallery, because a lot of the big art fairs out here, you have to be with a gallery.
You have to be part of a gallery,
right?
yeah.
You can't, it's not like in the US, like Superfine or the other art fair, where you as an individual artist can invest in your own stand.
Yeah.
It's not like that here. So that's what's nice about what you do, is that okay, up to you. If you want your own stand, that's up to you, but you can also share with other artists.
Well, and then it's up to them also how much, like they ask me how many minimum pieces. I go, bring your whole arsenal, go for it. If you have a chance to do it, go for it. And works 2 ways. Either you can be very successful with it, or you can find out real quick, maybe I should give up being an artist. Which is like kind of like what happened to me. Like, remember, like we had that My Lab thing. I didn't even some person wanted to buy my artwork. I didn't even know how to price it. Then my friend goes, why don't you bring it to me in Art in the Park? So I brought like those 2 pieces over to Art in the Park, sold it. And I was like, whoa, like, come back next year. Next year you bring like 6 pieces, sell them out. So I'm like, oh my God, I have something here. Because if I brought those art pieces and nobody gave a second look at them, I wouldn't be doing this professionally. I'd be just like, yeah, maybe I'll make a few for Art in the Park, see what happens. But I wouldn't be doing that as a career, Now it's like after being consistently and take with it.
I mean, Rachel, for you, just these are like it sounds like there's a really vibrant art scene and art, and people really interested in all the pieces. How has it been for you personally as an artist in the,
Well, for me personally, I think it took me a long time to trust that that I could do it as a career. You know, I had so many years as an interior designer, architect, you know, building so many houses, and so I was so confident in that. Like when you say shattering glass and hills, like I would rock that construction, and you know, I felt like I was might as well be wearing heels and you know walking through that site. And so when it came to art, all of a sudden it was starting again. And so it took a lot of confidence to build that up. And I think the more I navigate my way through the art scene here, the more I'm learning. So I'm getting a little bit more confident in approaching the galleries. Whether or not I get a response, it's just at least I tried, you know, where I've got that mindset now, whereas before it was like, oh, I don't know what to do. They're not responding. They're not this. And it's just one of those things.
I got you a solo on the thing.
You gave me your godfather blessings.
I'm like, your book cover is going to be everywhere. So
I love that. I love
I
that.
hope it. So hopefully, like, I'm
Yeah.
just really proud, and I'm just, again, like, just really happy and excited to just even kind of connect my roots back and to like really be able to also lend a voice to Filipino artists, because I didn't even think about that, Jay, when we were writing this. It was just just going through it, and so just really excited to be able to share that platform with Filipino artists and to really showcase that, and so and really hope that we get a little bit more play, because Filipinos are really great creative artists, period. So speaking of great creative artists, Jay, I know
Yes.
you're not a, painting and arts, because you're my brother, wasn't really the first foray. You were always a writer first. At least, that's what everyone kind of knows. So, I mean, what's
Yeah.
next? Help me write this book. This is amazing. I think your book is around the corner.
Ooh.
I'm like,
dealing.
like
I'm gonna deal with the art stuff first because I have a solo coming in April, so that's the focus is there, and I have a lot of other stuff coming within the year. So if all that, I'll figure out everything after what happens with my solo show, though, like whether what
yeah.
happens or not. Because like if it is pretty successful here, then it means I have to make more art if I'm gonna bring it to the States, right? So good problem. But if
That's
it's
really
not,
well.
then at
Yeah.
least we can plan when I bring it to the States, and then we can plan if like that because I'll have some artwork to bring because I'm making a lot for this one. So I actually have a lot going around. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's really what I also hope for. I think, the guys here in the studio with me are, we're all very connected. And so hopefully that this will also create a bridge to bring more.
Yeah, the plan. I'm supposed to meet somebody on next Friday. She's the one who brings the artist to the New York consulate. So she has like kind of like a deal going on with them at least 3 times a year that she brings this. So I have to talk to her and say I want to be part of the thing, and then as long as it goes to their charity or whatsoever, that's fine. Because at
I'm
le's
sure,
it's New York, right?
I'm sure Jesse and
Yeah.
I may be willing to loan our JJ Duque original artworks for, on show for limited use.
To
I'm
extend.
like, because
Yeah.
I'm your best customer and your worst customer. I'm like, Mom, I want that. And suddenly painting disappears from JJ's house. And the next thing he knows, it's been shipped to the United States.
Yeah,
I have,
no. So yeah, so that's the possibility. So New York, we'll see. It's just
yeah,
a matter. It will be like it will be when. It's just a matter of timing of like, do I have the art to bring for it already, and we'll plan it like this. But yeah, maybe next year or something.
yeah, I think it's something that we can totally plan and
And then
hope.
the book is there. It's being written. It's like
Thank you so much for both of you, Jay, for giving me the words to organize that, and Rachel for just really giving a face to the book and just this movement, which just
yeah.
it's so
Thank you, Rachel, so much also for doing
Thank
this.
you. I honestly honored. This is it's amazing. So it's my first book cover with you. So that's kind of cool.
See, I don't
oh my
even have a
gosh,
book.
that means
I
I
don't
forgot.
even have a book cover.
There's the second.
I can draw you one with heels, rather boots instead. Boots and tattoos.
Thank you for listening to my podcast. I hope this has inspired you to continue the fight for equality, challenge stereotypes, and lift as we climb. Amplify the conversation on social media, following @DuquesaCD and DuquesaCD.com. #Shattering Glass in Heels.